Yo, what's up? All right, well, I just put us live. Let me get the guests on, though. You guys can't see or hear the guests yet. All right, here's Andy here.
All right.
Here's Toast. All right, and just waiting on Scoop, who probably doesn't understand how to join.
I sent him the password because he didn't know the password that we use.
It was in the subject of the email.
I know. Just let it go.
It was in the subject of the email.
I know. We are dealing with Scoop, so
He's in. He's in here.
He's in.
There you go.
All right. So, this is what I decided we're going to do. Each person gets 4 passes. There's 18 games. You get to pass 4 times. So every person's going to have 14. That's how we're going to decide it here. Man, my voice is still fucked. All right. First game is Tennessee at Georgia. Andy, I'm assuming you're going with your dog. Actually, I believe you said yesterday you were fading your guys.
I went back and forth, and then I looked at our spreadsheet, and I kind of formulated an opinion at night that I was going to go Tennessee, and then I looked at it, and every time Tennessee plays a fast-paced team, it is a much different game for them. They just faced a slow-paced team. They got used to that play. Lost to Mississippi State, a tough team. Now Georgia, a fast-paced team that's just as aggressive as Mississippi State. I've kind of talked myself into Georgia in this one. I think I don't know if Georgia's going to win. I did put $5 on the money line. I was like, screw it, why not? But I think it'll be a close game. It's a home game. It is the biggest game at Georgia in a very long time. They have not had a game like this in maybe a decade now. So this is a huge game. I also had a player prop. I think Justin Hill, our point guard, he's going to get at least 15 in this game. Every time they play a high major opponent, he's scoring double digits. His number's at 9.5, and he's a senior point guard in a big game at home. So I think he has a great day as well.
I'm putting mine up too. Georgia as well. Tennessee's 2-4 gets the spread on the road this year. This is a new era of Georgia basketball. So Tennessee takes a lot of threes. Georgia's defended the perimeter well, according to the numbers I looked at. Give me Georgia. Scoop. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me. Were they in the right spot here? Toast, Scoop. So it's just. All right, hold on. I can fix this. We're not going through the whole thing with the wrong names on. So bring Scoop over here. Bring Toast over here. All right, Scoop. Are you on the Dogs or the Vols?
So I'm gonna take the pass on this one. I was actually leaning Tennessee. Georgia's been great lately. They're getting wins on the defensive side of the ball. I know they beat Arkansas, which they're kind of sliding, but Tennessee, besides the Mississippi State game, they've been awesome. They're 6th in Ken Palm, 2nd in defensive efficiency. IDU has been shooting over 50% this year, and even though Georgia's taking care of business, they haven't ran into Tennessee's offense. They're strong on the glass. They're going to have second chance points, move the ball around. I'm not fooled by Georgia's undefeated conference play. Sorry, Andy. And I don't think they're gonna win here. I think Tennessee is gonna win by at least 9 points.
So you're using one of your 4 passes.
I'll use my 4 pass. One of my 4.
All right. So Scoop, you are now down to 3 remaining passes. Let's bring up Toast. Go ahead.
Good morning. This is a really hard one for me. I guess for the show's sake, I guess I'll take Georgia with you guys. I would take the points. Okay, first and foremost with Tennessee, I hate the spot for them. On the road at Mississippi State on Wednesday, and now here a short turnaround to play a Georgia team that's kind of licking their chops to get a solid win on their resume. I understand that Georgia has won a whole bunch of games in a row, but Arkansas is terrible. So I don't really give them a whole bunch of credit for that. Missouri's been all right, but besides that, not a lot of good wins on that schedule. The one times that they have stepped up in competition against Providence, Miami, Oregon, all losses. They did have a nice win against Wake. Just for Tennessee, if Dalton Connect was actually playing the way that he had been playing the first 6-7 games of the season, maybe I can get there with Tennessee. But his production has essentially fallen off of a cliff. I understand he put up 28 last game against Mississippi State, but the games prior to that, 8 against Mississippi, 15 against Norfolk, 6 against Arlington, 2 against NC State. Understand he's not all the way healthy either, but this is going to be what's holding me off is that I know Mike White, and I just don't really trust him yet. So I am absolutely just shitting the bed because that's just what Mike White does. That's why he doesn't have a job at Florida anymore. Yeah, I'll take the points with Georgia as far as the show's concerned, but don't love it. But yeah, there's no way I'd be laying it with Tennessee right now with the way that Dalton Connect's been playing.
EQ in the comments says he likes Tennessee by 10. Our poll slightly leaning Georgia 37% to 34%. Next game. Oh.
Game you guys are going to start 0-1, but that's fine.
You didn't even have the balls to put the pick up. You took a pass. Literally took a pass.
I'm going to tell them I don't trust this game. I'm not betting it.
I didn't
hold on.
Georgia
Just
either,
because
for the sake of the show.
Yeah.
No, I'm passing.
He's passing.
Yeah.
All right.
You're a coward.
Yeah,
I'm
start
a
the
coward.
show off with a pass is soft. Northwestern,
Strong pass.
Wisconsin, -7.5 or pass. All right, Scoop. Big Ten. Do you have a move here?
Big Ten. Yeah, I'm going Wisconsin. I like their 8-game home winning streak. I mean, they have the perfect opponent to face right now. The greatest name in the sport, Boo Booey, going to have a dominant game. I actually view Wisconsin as a sleeper for the whole Big Ten. I think they're going to win the whole conference. It's a down year. I think they have the talent to do it. They have the size in this one. That's the problem. Northwestern doesn't have a center really. They don't have a true center. Wall and Crawl, the Wall and Crawl brothers. They're gonna dominate the boards. Besides Toast, Northwestern lost to Chicago State. Do you even know what conference they're in?
Chicago State.
They're independent. They were in the WAC last year, and they're going to Northeast next year, which is it's crazy. They go from one side to the other, but I just don't think Northwestern has the size to compete with Wisconsin. I think that they're just going to give them the ball down low and score. Northwestern's small. They're going to lose.
All right, let's bring up Toast. Do you agree with what he said? Where the hell did my names go? Do you agree with what he said?
Northwestern has shooters. I just don't see them winning this game or covering the spread.
Toast?
Yeah, I agree. I would lean Wisconsin. This team has just been an absolute juggernaut. The whole season. I mean, you take a loss against a Tennessee team at home. Tennessee, obviously I know I didn't really kind of shit on them the last game, but they're a good basketball team, especially at that time earlier in the year. And then a road loss to Providence. I mean, Providence is 40-4 the last 3 seasons in their own building, so it's really hard to fault them losing on the road at Providence. I mean, then on the road at Arizona, again talking about Wisconsin, so it's really hard to fault them with anything that they've done. At home, that's another thing. A huge strength of schedule. I mean, Wisconsin's played a very strong strength of schedule, number 19 in the country. Northwestern sitting at number 127. So unless Boo Booey goes absolutely nuts, I have a hard time believing both of these teams like to play slow. Wisconsin 348th in average possession length. Northwestern's in that 277 range. So again, Northwestern has Boo Booey, and that's about it. Maybe a little bit of Ty Berry can go in there and Nick Bartelli, but besides that, it's for Wisconsin. They're going to have a whole bunch of stars like Wall and Crawl and Star, and one of the biggest, most experienced teams in the country. So, I would lean it with Wisconsin as well.
I'm putting Wisconsin up for me also. Andy, is this a Wisconsin sweep?
Yeah, I liked what Scoop said. The inside game is just going to be. It's going to be ugly for Northwestern in this one. Wisconsin's a really good inside team overall. And Northwestern, that's just a weakness of theirs. They said strength of schedule. That's also big. Wisconsin's played a really good schedule. I just like this team. I liked what he said. They could win the Big Ten. I believe that. I do think they could win the Big Ten. a really good team. Stores has been really good coming from St. John. So, yeah, I like that Wisconsin team.
Cool. In the comments, we got Doug Lane on Wisconsin and over, Stephen Hairston on Wisconsin and over. So looks like we're a Wisconsin program today. 60% to 20%. The community voted Wisconsin. Let's go Badgers. Next up, oh man, I have all the templates set for 3 people, so bear with me here. All right, we got Seton Hall at Butler. This line's 4.5, I believe.
Yeah, it's 4.5.
Seton Hall plus 4.5. Butler minus 4.5. Pass. All right, Toast. Any move here?
Scoop, these are your guys' teams. You got something? I can go. I just
Oh yeah,
assumed you
Scoop
had
loves the
something.
Big East. We can bring Scoop.
I
up.
do love the Big East. They're just poised to beat each other up like every other year. Both these teams beat Marquette, but Marquette's in a slide right now. But I mean, Seton Hall's. I just think they're inconsistent, to be honest. They lose to Rutgers, but beat UConn, Providence. They did just almost lose to Georgetown. I don't really. They're just not. They're closing out games, but they're all close. Their last 3 games, they've won by a combined 11 points. I just think Pierre Brooks is going to be a factor here. I don't think Seton Hall has the perimeter defense to slow him down. Hinkle Fieldhouse is an awesome home field advantage. I mean, it's going to be loud. They shoot 35% from 3. Seton Hall can't defend a 3. Butler's just a better offensive team, and I'll lay the points with Butler.
Scoop is on Butler going against his New Jersey blood. Toast, do you agree with that?
I think that the line makers are telling us or giving us enough information with this line. I understand that Seton Hall has been a little bit consistent at times, but when you start conference play 4-1 and your only loss is on the road at Xavier with wins against Marquette on the road, against Marquette, UConn, Providence, and Georgetown. Obviously, Georgetown is terrible, but I mean, I was just writing notes last week about this Seton Hall team being one of the hottest teams in the country right now. So I would lean Seton Hall. I understand what Scoop was talking about, but I also think that Seton Hall is by far the better rebounding team. I mean, 7th in offensive rebounding percentage. Butler is going to have a really struggle on the boards. I mean, 244 in defensive rebounding percentage. They just don't rebound the ball very well. I worry about the Seton Hall shooters because, like Scoop said, they're going to have Butler does a really good job of defending the perimeter. But I have a team in Seton Hall that shoots free throws really well, that loves to play and make the game slow. They're a much bigger team. They're a more experienced team. So I'll take the points with the team that I think is better and has the better defense getting points right now.
I'm siding with Toast. I'm putting Seton Hall up for myself as well. Andrew, are you on Scoop's side or our side?
No, I like Seton Hall in this one. I think the number, I don't necessarily love the number. I think it's a little high for them to be underdogs. I know they just played a tight game with Georgetown, but I think we kind of called that one. We had a feeling it was a rough spot for them coming off a big win against Marquette.
You guys did take Georgetown in that game.
Yeah, we had a feeling it was going to be a close one, and they kind of played to it. That's kind of who Seton Hall is. Like you said, inconsistent's a great word. I mean, they've beaten UConn, Marquette, then they got blown out against Xavier. Xavier's a good team, not a team you should lose by that much to. Close game to Georgetown, but even though it's a road game, I think Kadari Richmond will do enough to keep it close. I don't know if they win this game, but I'll take the best player in this one, and that's Kadari Richmond. Also, they dominate inside. That's really the way they win games. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree with Andy right there too. Even if they don't win at 3.5, it's just hard for me to not lay the points. Like I can see this game being whoever has the ball last is the winner, and it's going to be a good game. So,
well, the community agrees with Scoop. 49%. Yeah, Scoop's on a Butler Island here, but the community agrees with him. 48% to 35% said they would lay the 4.5 with Butler.
I would agree that 4.5. Taking a stance there, so I would agree with that part of it.
All right, next up we got hold on one sec. Which one's my camera? There it is. Okay, had an extra camera in here. All right, so the Johnnies. It's time to talk Johnnies basketball. St. John's plus 7.5. Yeah, it's at 7.5 now, I believe. So I guess I made the graphic when it was still at 7. So you already know. I'll put mine up right now. You already know I'm on the Johnnies. There it is. St. John's was 7.5. Hottest team in basketball. One of the best teams in the Big East this year. And I think
Toast is so sad right now.
and I think they make a statement. Statement game. Sprinkle the money line. Andrew.
I agree with you. I like the St. John's team. They're coming off a tight game at home. I think that's good. I think Rick Pitino said it after the game. He said if we blew Providence out, we were going to go get punched in the mouth against Creighton. They didn't. They had to win a tight game against Providence, and Providence clearly looks like a really tough team right now. Even without Bryce Hopkins, they're playing tough. Now they're going on the road. Creighton's going to get bullied a little bit inside, I think. I think Soriano's going to get a lot done inside, enough to keep it close. I don't know if I think St. John's wins the game, but an interesting angle, and I know Toast will like this one. St. John's has a foul problem. Everybody winds up in foul trouble. And
We
they
play
put
physical
teams,
basketball.
Yeah, they put teams at the line. Creighton's not a good free throw shooting team. A very bad one, actually. So that might work to their advantage. I know you don't want guys in foul trouble, but if you put a bad free throw shooting team on the line, might get some empty possessions. So St. John, give me St. John's plus 7.5.
All right. 2 of us on
Andy?
the Johnnies.
Andy, I love you. I do. But St. John's is shooting 70% from the free throw line as a team. That's good for 218th in the country. Creighton shooting it at 75.3%. That's good for 58th in the country. Please, God, send me to the freaking line. Give me Creighton minus 10 or whatever the number is.
Bad
I don't
pick.
care. They're
It's a
going
bad
to blow
pick.
the doors off this Johnny's team tonight.
Bad pick.
Look, Creighton doesn't force a lot of turnovers, but they're really good at attacking the rim. They're very good at shooting the 3 ball as well. St. John's does a very good job of offensive rebounding. That's true, but they use a lot of pick and roll, and I don't think the pick and roll is going to work when you have Shireman and Trey Alexander and Ryan Kalkbrenner all trying to defend that. I think they're going to struggle a lot to score today, and especially in the pick and roll, because that's what St. John's really likes to do. St. John's can shoot the 3 ball as well, but Creighton can defend it as well. So I just think that this is a really, really good spot for Creighton. I understand how well St. John's has played lately, but Creighton just destroyed DePaul, and I think they've just been waiting for a team like St. John's to come into that building. So after that, they haven't played a good home team. I know they played Providence, but after that loss against Villanova, I think they've been waiting. So I'll take my chances here with Creighton laying the points. No question.
Bad pick. Scoop, he's wrong, right?
You're giving me 7.5 with the Johnnies? Are you kidding me? Of course Toast is wrong. Come on.
Johnny's up.
Johnny's up.
When Scoop is done, magnify those pie charts.
Listen, I've had the most money on Johnny's this season. I will not fade the god Rick Pitino. It's gonna be my favorite game to watch today, to be honest. Johnny's
This
are
is
playing
1
awesome
p.m.
defense.
1 p.m. right?
Yeah, or 2. It might be 1 or 2. They're holding opponents at 28% behind the 3. The 2-3 zone is going to confuse Creighton. Not going to know what hit them.
Just shoot over the top of it.
It's going to confuse him. Toast, it's going to confuse him.
It's going to confuse them. Offensive rebounds are going to be the key for the Johnnies. They're a better rebounding team.
Way
They're
better.
6-4 against Ken Palm 100 teams. I just can't. It should be minus 7.5 for the Johnnies. This is going to be a money line bet for the Johnnies for me all day.
Yeah, Creighton isn't ready for this physical brand of
They're
basketball.
not going to be ready for it. 2-3. They're going to be like 2-3. What is that?
They're going to be completely blindsided by the 2-3 zone.
Right.
55%, 38%. This is a Johnny's program. Toast is on his own little Creighton island.
My favorite part about when St. John's plays slow-paced teams, Creighton 246 in pace, Pitino presses them. That might speed them up a little bit, might get them out of their game.
Yeah, it's going to throw their comfort level way off.
Toast is just broken. He's like, I don't.
Because
no.
he knows he lost. He's like, he heard
I'm not worried about St. John's.
He heard
today
Scoop's analysis and he was like, I messed up.
at all.
Even Toast was confused about the 2-3.
Not for that reason.
Even Toast was like, oh shit, they run the 2-3?
Oh, no.
All right, San Diego State and New Mexico. I can't believe that this, because for those of you who don't know how our process works, so those 3 in a group chat, and they tell Andy what graphics to set up for the show. This one made the cut, but North Carolina, Syracuse didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a better game.
I would love to.
be
I would.
fair.
Yeah, I'm
die
sure
on
there's a
this
bunch of
goal.
people in the comments dying to talk about this one.
I got the team wrong, so like, that's the even funnier part. I put New Mexico State in the graphic by accident.
Well, if it was New Mexico State, I would have faded just because Diego Pavia is
Just for
overrated
the
and keeps
record,
getting
I'm
lucky
playing
covers.
over in Syracuse, North Carolina, over 157. So anybody that's dying to hear about that game.
Yeah, I've been seeing that.
If you want to talk about McLeod odds, just gonna make it worse. North Carolina.
No, I don't have graphics set up for
Okay,
it.
anyway, next game.
San Diego State, New Mexico. Andrew?
I'm gonna use my pass on this one because I thought this one was just like too tight for me to make a pick here. I don't know who. I really don't know how to gauge this San Diego State team. I want to think that they're the team they were last year. They're just not. But I could see them winning the game outright. So I don't really know here.
All right, let's bring up the pass count here. And Andy now has used his pass. Toe's still holding all 4 passes.
Which I will the whole game.
That'll probably be the only one I pass to.
All right.
We have to have an even amount though. We can't,
No.
No, you can't.
If you, the more passes you have, it's just more respect you're gonna have. If
Yeah,
you
it's
have
just a
one pass
respect
down,
thing.
You're just,
You
you're
wouldn't
just gonna know you're a
understand.
coward.
It's a respect thing, Scoop. You wouldn't
Yeah.
understand.
I just don't.
All right, Toast, what's up?
I think. God damn it.
Use the
For the
pass.
showcase for the show, give me San Diego State plus the points. I think it's gotten a little bit out of hand. This game started at -1 for New Mexico, and I can understand why. New Mexico, first and foremost, they're playing in the pit. One of the biggest, better home court advantages in the country right now, or ever. Biggest and best home court advantages in the country right now. New Mexico off of lost 2 of the last 3 against Colorado State, which is a pretty decent team, and then UNLV, which UNLV has always played well against that team, so I don't really know how much to put into it. But San Diego State, off that big win against Gonzaga, and they followed it up with 3 more wins against Fresno State, UNLV, and San Diego State. So it's not like they had a big drop-off. Strength of schedule lies, New Mexico in that like 150 range. San Diego State's definitely top 20 in the country as far as scheduling strength. I mean, they've played teams like BYU and St. Mary's, Long Beach State, Washington, Cal, Stanford, Gonzaga. I mean, they definitely match up well. Ken Pom has this a 1-point game. I think the shot quality model only has it like a 1-possession game. I just have a hard time seeing either team winning by more than 1 possession. New Mexico doesn't shoot free throws very well at all. So we already know this is probably going to be a close game with how these teams play. New Mexico shooting free throws at 68.5%. That's good for 275th in the country. They really like to play fast. But San Diego State can force turnovers. So I will say that New Mexico in playing fast, they don't turn the ball over a lot. But again, when you're playing a team like San Diego State, that it could really snowball against you. So I'm going to take the points. San Diego State's the bigger team. They're the more experienced team. I think they're the better coach team. They're probably not going to have the best player on the floor like they have been with Donovan Dent and Jalen House and all those guys, and Mashburn getting back into the flow for New Mexico. But, I would love to be sharp here and take New Mexico at home in the pit, but I just think the 4's too many. So I'm taking the points to San Diego State.
Yeah, I'm putting that up for me, too. Don't know a damn thing about either team. Scoop, are you have any interest in this game?
Only Toast would have an in-depth analysis of 5 minutes with New Mexico and San Diego State.
Or is this your second pass?
No, I'm not passing. I'm going to take New Mexico. I'm going to be on the sharp side here.
All right.
The Lobos are going to score. I mean, San Diego State got lucky last year, even beating them once. They got hit. I think it was a 3 at the buzzer. I think they beat them in the pit, I think, last year. I can't fade Jamal Mashburn. Are you kidding me? Jamal Mashburn.
Is that through the coaches at New Mexico? San Diego State?
It's his kid that plays.
Oh, his kid
and
plays
Jamal
on the
Mashburn
team?
Jr. I mean, they're going to control the tempo. They're going to play a fast pace.
Jamal Mashburn. That's a name I haven't heard in forever.
Jamal Mashburn Jr., baby.
It's awesome, too.
So all 3 of us on San Diego.
No, I'm on New Mexico.
Oh, you're on New Mexico.
Yeah.
So Jamal Mashburn coaches New Mexico.
Jamal
Plays for New
Mashburn Jr.
Mexico.
Oh my
plays for New
God!
Mexico.
Andy made the New Mexico State graphic.
We're on
All Andy's fault.
yeah, you're just old. Jamal Mashburn Jr. plays. So.
That graphic is supposed to say UNM minus 4, not MMSU. So that graphic's wrong. Let's just get off this game, yo. So 48 to 32% on New Mexico. New Mexico. Yeah, I almost said it again.
Just for the record, Scoop, this is like the third best game of the day. So
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying you're really in depth on it. I appreciate it.
All right, ACC, Virginia, Wake Forest. Let's get the poll running. Virginia plus 5.5. Wake Forest minus 5.5. 131. Oh, whoops, no, pass. All right. Andy, anything for this one?
Yeah, I like Wake a lot in this one. They're coming off a rough loss to Florida State. I actually thought they were going to win that game. They looked good for a while in it. They looked like they were going to come back, win the game, then they blew it at the end. Virginia's tough on the road. They are a terrible road team. Their last 3 road games, I remember they lost to Notre Dame on the road, which pretty much automatically eliminates you from me ever betting on them again. I had them in that game. They looked awful. Just on the road this year, they've looked awful. Wake Forest at home's been pretty good. I don't think they've played the greatest schedule at home, but now they come back home after a rough loss. I like the spot for Wake Forest.
I disagree. I'm on Virginia. Better program, more prestige. Public's coming in heavy on Wake.
100% true. All of that is true.
Yeah. As if I would tell lies on my own goddamn show. So let's bring up Toast next. Toast, do you agree? He said, and I quote, and Andy's has a high hit rate on this show. He said he likes it a lot.
yeah, I paired Wake on the money line. I'm not sure if I want to lay points with them. So yeah, I'll play with Andy for the sake of the show. I did Wake and Baylor money line, though, by the way, for everybody that's listening that's not keeping track of the show. So here's the thing with Virginia, these two teams, and the reason that I don't want to lay so many points with them is that neither team likes to play super fast. Virginia is one of the slowest teams in the country, average possession length at like 18.8 seconds. That's good for 320 seconds. Virginia's in like the 230 range. The issue also with Virginia, though, the issue with me is they don't rebound very well, and they are horrible also shooting free throws. 65% as a team. That's good for 330th in the country. Wake Forest, on the other hand, 4th in the country, shooting it at almost 80% as a team from the free throw line. Both these, they match up very equally in height, experience, all that stuff. The one thing that I could see is that maybe Virginia, with the way that they play defense, they can kind of grind out games a little bit, and that's where they use their bench. Wake Forest doesn't have a deep bench at all. They play like there's 6 guys, and that's pretty much it. 328 in the country as far as bench minutes. So, yeah, you're going to get a lot of guys like Hunter Silas, transfer from Gonzaga, Kevin Miller, all those guys. Yeah, I just think it's going to be a little bit too much, but for them to cover with the way that Virginia plays. So I'll take Virginia with the points as far as the show.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Wake with the points. Wake minus the points.
Oh, okay.
For the show.
Scoop, are you siding with me or these guys? You're muted.
Dope.
You still muted.
I know.
This is my first time. You guys.
There we go. Here we go.
Give me a second. I just hate the way Virginia plays basketball.
Yeah.
Good.
Wake Forest has their best team in a decade, I think. Virginia's been an awful road team, like Andy said. They lost by an average of 20 points in all of them. They're also 0-3 against the spread in all of them. Toast Boy, Hunter Salas has been great from Gonzaga.
Fantastic.
Boopy Miller is a playmaker. For Wake Forest.
Good for him. He got the hell out of there.
I mean, so Virginia still plays their slow brand of basketball, but the problem is now they can't shoot. It's not like the 2019 championship game. They play the same way, but they don't have the playmakers from it. Virginia basketball is becoming Virginia football, unfortunately.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're
I wouldn't
be
go
terrible
there.
for years to come.
That's a lot.
Someone just said in the comments, your week 18 picks are garbage. I can't believe anything you guys talk about, dude.
Yeah, because week
Haven't
18
you
is
put out,
really,
like,
really indicative of
Yeah,
how,
week
how sports
18.
betting
Like,
goes.
tell us you're brand new to sports betting without telling us you're brand new to sports betting. So anyway,
Yeah, that Browns Bengals game was really good to bet.
Yeah. Oh man, Carson Wentz really came through, huh? All right,
Remember that
so
week 7 loss you took? What sauce? You suck.
Sauce, you got the Ravens game wrong in 2021. I was at the game. I'll never listen to you. 55% on Wake Forest. So I'm on a Virginia island here. Let's go on to the next one.
About Wake Forest.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I just followed Andy.
Yeah, you guys are all following Andy, but I'm telling you, I'm giving you a program with more prestige. You guys don't seem to care.
I even said it, but then I was like, I better go back.
I don't know. Tony Bennett's lost a step.
Oh, he has. That's for sure.
He may have lost a step, but he could still coach. We're not commenting on his running, his foot speed.
All right.
Xavier Providence is up next. Pass.
Doesn't one of these two love this game?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't know. I'm not being. I thought I was being serious. I'm not making a joke.
Well, Scoop likes the Big East a lot.
I just like the Big East. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's bring up Scoop. Can't fade Providence at home, right?
I'm gonna fade Providence at home.
I thought the rule was you don't fade that team at home.
I'm gonna fade the team at home.
Okay.
Bryce, ever since Hopkins has been out, this team can't find a score. I mean, the way Xavier wins is just staying strong on the glass. They had 20 offensive rebounds against UConn. They just couldn't find the basket. I mean, Xavier doesn't do anything great. They do everything good. But there's no more pressure from the wing from Hopkins, from Providence. Devin Carter is the best scorer on their team, and I don't think, other than him, he doesn't have a great supporting cast. Xavier's going to shoot better than they did against UConn. Personally, this is one of my favorite bets of the day.
See, I knew you liked it. I knew that.
Yeah, what the hell? You played oh no, I don't know who likes this one.
Xavier's gonna, I think they're gonna win.
Wait, one. People were asking, are they getting a spaghetti lock on the show or in the Discord?
I have one, but it's not this. I'd personally bet Oliveri over 17.5 points this game too. I think he's gonna find open shots, and that's a little prop beaver bet for you. Over 17.5 from Oliveri.
Guarantee you, Prop Beaver's not watching.
Nah,
Prop Beaver doesn't care. Probably.
All right, Andy, do you agree with Scoop's favorite bet or one of the favorite bets of the day? He said.
I feel bad because he just followed me on the Wake one, but I'm going against him. I like the way this Providence team played on the road at MSG. Not saying that St. John's is the greatest home court advantage, but that place is definitely a little bit more electric this year. A bigger crowd in the stadium. They played really well in that game. Barely lost. I will say that if they would have hit a free throw at the end, or they would have rebounded a free throw, they would have had a shot to win the game. So, I mean, even Patino was talking about how good this team is without Hopkins. They're playing so tough right now. Now they're going, I mean, I know it's not called the Dunk anymore. It's called the Amp. But when they're playing at home, they are an elite basketball team. So I got to side with them at home.
Exactly.
I don't appreciate the trashing of St. John's home court, to be honest.
It's not great. I mean, they're playing at a neutral court, basically. I know it's in the city, but
yeah, that was. There was no
backhanded. Like
I agree with you. I'm on Providence at home, but I don't understand why you took a shot at the Johnnies. It seemed like that was unnecessary and just uncalled for. Toast. Providence or Xavier? Do you agree with Scoops? One of his favorite bets of the day.
No, I'm on Providence. I agree with Andy. It's always going to be called the Dunk, so I'm with you there. So first and foremost with Providence, yes, they've lost 3 in a row, but if you take a look at who they've played, I mean, Seton Hall, Creighton, and St. John's. I mean, Seton Hall and St. John's, 2 fast defensive teams. Creighton's a very good offensive team. And they lost 61-57 to Seton Hall, 60-69 to Creighton, and 75-73 against
in all
St.
3
John's.
games.
They lost all 3.
But they were in
close.
all 3.
They were very close in every single one of them. This is not a team that you can really blow out. And keep in mind, they're keeping these games close, and they're shooting a balmy 67.4%.
Only bound to get better.
From the free throw line. That's good for 295th in the country. So that's one thing that is a little bit concerning with Providence. But I think back at home, I think you're going to get a very, very good effort from them here today. This is going to be a pretty big step down in class considering the last 3 games that they've played. So Providence doesn't really do a good job of shooting the 3 ball, but they're one of the top 40 offenses in, as far as inside the arc. I'm in that 2-point range. So, they're a little bit bigger, not a whole bunch bigger than Xavier, but they are bigger. And they have a little bit deeper of a bench, I think. Well, actually, now that Hopkins is gone, you can't really say that, but usually you can say that. But yeah, I think it's a Providence day today. I think they get back in the winning column.
Community's on Providence. Scoop is on Xavier Island. Fading the Friars at home is a suicide mission, some would say. Next game, and by some I mean me. So next game we got Oklahoma, Kansas. Let's talk some Big 12. Well, actually, is Oklahoma basketball moving to the SEC as well? Everyone, okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Everyone.
Next year. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we got Oklahoma.
Oh, you're talking next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Next year.
Yeah, when the football
No, you're
team
right.
moves.
You're right. I heard it wrong. You're right.
All right. So I'm putting mine up first. I think Oklahoma wins outright.
Oh my.
Taking the 6.5 points. And the reason being, they're coming in here. I think this is a lot more of an important game to Oklahoma than it is Kansas. Jayhawks beat them this year, and I mean beat them on the football field for the first time in forever. You got Kansas, who obviously when it comes to this time of year, Kansas basketball is just much more prevalent. Oklahoma's the little brother, and the little brother's pissed off. And I don't think the big brother Kansas is ready for what's coming. Sooners are going to fight them hard. I think Sooners could win.
I don't know about that. I will stick with Kansas in this one. They're coming off I'll call it a bad loss, but I really don't think it's that bad. UCF is a tough place to play, so I won't call it a terrible loss. But Oklahoma's coming in, just lost to TCU, or just beat TCU, I believe, on the road. No, they lost TCU on the road. Sorry. Statistically, you're right. Oklahoma is the better team, but they haven't played anybody. Their strength of schedule is very far back in the 200s. Kansas, Toast, I know you're putting your hands up. In terms of like all the ratings, they are a statistically better.
You said something that pissed them off.
Statistically, yes, they're better, but they haven't played anybody, so those stats don't mean much to me. Kansas has played an unbelievably tough schedule. Oklahoma hasn't. Kansas coming back home after a loss. I think they beat them pretty handedly.
Let's bring up Toast next because he's having an aneurysm over there about Andy's analysis.
Not an aneurysm, but they are not better than. Oh, I don't care what the stats say. That's a fallacy right there.
So Toast is on Kansas. We already know.
I'm on Kansas money line with a parlay. I'm not laying the points. What is it at now? 7.5.
6.5. 6.5 as of an hour ago.
Yeah, it's 7.5 everywhere else now. So
even better.
If you're lucky. Yeah, if you're lucky, you can find. If you can find a 6.5, I guess grab it. I wouldn't continue to chase that steam personally. But Oklahoma hasn't played anybody. They played TCU their second game in big conference or in the conference play, and they got beat up. I understand that they beat Iowa State, but Iowa State's a really defensive-minded team. I just don't really worry about them, and they played them at home. This is going to be the second road game for Oklahoma. I'm trying to find another one. Yeah, the second road game of the year for Oklahoma, whose strength of schedule is number 260, playing a Kansas team that just got absolutely embarrassed at UCF. And now they come home. They're 60th as far as strength of schedule. Kansas is going to have by far the best players on the floor, whether it be Hunter Dickinson, KJ Adams, Kevin McCullough, Duane Harris. It doesn't really matter. Kansas is towering over Oklahoma, eighth in height. Oklahoma's in like the 120s range type of thing. Experience-wise, everything that you would look for, obviously Kansas has it. So
then why is the line only 6.5?
Well, it keeps on moving. It's 7.5 now. It's going to be 8 in about 10 minutes.
This opened at like 4.5, 5.
Yeah, and so it's now moved. How many points?
Movements, I will say that.
So
odds makers think it's going to be close, or at least they originally thought.
They originally thought, and then they changed their mind. So,
they're second guessing themselves.
I paired Kansas with BYU, I don't think Kansas or BYU loses today.
Scoop, are you with me or them?
I am with you.
Sooners.
Oklahoma. Both teams coming off pretty bad losses, and the UCF is a hard place to play. Come on, it's UCF.
Not an easy place.
The Bounce House.
Bounce House.
Is the basketball team also called the Bounce House?
I
I
just
don't know,
see
but
Kansas.
it looked
Yeah.
pretty good the other day.
I just don't see them stopping Ortega all the way to win this game. Kansas moves the ball around. They're second in assists per game. I think a key factor is Dickinson's health, really. His knee's been banged up. He had the least amount of minutes he's
He's
played
not up
last
for this
game.
one. He's not up for
No,
this
he's not
one.
out. He's just going to...
No, it's just he's not up for it.
He's a punk. So
I have a future on him to win the Wooden Award. He's really letting me down.
It's a bad bet.
Just
But he has
donated
a
to
banged up
AFC,
knee,
man.
and Bill Self even admitted that they don't have a lot of depth on their team, which is a real motivator for the kids. They're 5-9 against the spread this season. I see Oklahoma staying in this game. I mean, I know Kansas obviously has the size, but I see Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has the heart, though.
Yeah, it's the heart and soul. They're going to be.
I love
think
that
they're,
his bet was about the football team, and he's saying they have the heart.
I made a bet on Washington the other night based on the football team. And you
Fair,
know what?
you're
You guys
right.
all lost, and I had Washington.
Besides Kansas win over Wichita State, they haven't looked great. I mean, they only won by 4 against Indiana, 2 against TCU.
9 against Tennessee, 4 against Connecticut.
That was earlier in the year. That was November. We're in
Utah, yeah.
January.
It's practically 10 years ago, Toast.
5 against
January
Kentucky.
now. That's not even worth talking about.
Obama
Who's
was still in
Oklahoma's best
office.
Yeah, we had Jimmy
Who's
Carter.
Oklahoma's best win? Scoop. Which game impressed you the most?
Kansas is the best win on
What?
Oklahoma's schedule. Talk to me in 3 hours.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
That's a-
Let's move on.
Probably
Let's move on because
Iowa
clearly
State?
Toast and Andy aren't seeing the light. Clearly, Oklahoma's the move here.
Providence, they beat by 20.
Next,
In December, I thought we couldn't use those.
But it's later than November.
Yabbits. There's no yabbits in Alaska. I don't play with
Later
that.
than November.
you want to know what Oklahoma's best win was this year? Texas, Red River rivalry. Go ahead.
Fair.
Someone tried to tell me that wasn't an electric win.
Was awesome.
I don't remember that game.
They beat Texas, who then went on to the playoffs. All right, so we're back in the SEC here. Texas A&M laying 2.5 to Kentucky, and I'll just put mine up. Maybe I'm the squarest dude alive. Well, the graphic says Kentucky +3. Why is the line moving towards Texas A&M? Are they really good or something?
Everybody in the world's on them.
I have no idea.
Why? What am I missing? It's Kentucky against
the
Texas
same as
A&M.
last
This
year.
is bad.
Kentucky.
But I mean, this isn't what I don't understand. Kentucky's just a way better program than Texas A&M. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's the same as last week.
Yeah, true. At least last week, I felt like it was a decent team though, like A&M.
Yeah.
Texas,
No,
go ahead,
Toast,
Gabe,
you go.
go ahead.
You go, Toast.
Well, Texas A&M isn't horrible. I mean, there's a lot of people that I respect on Texas A&M today. I don't really see it either, but I guess we'll see. This is just like Saw said. I truly believe that this is just like the Florida game. If you're going to give me points with John Calipari, excuse me, against Buzz Williams, even though that Buzz Williams is at home with Texas A&M, I don't care. Kentucky is one of those teams that's obviously very good offensively, but they've actually been picking it up defensively as well. They're 48th in average defensive efficiency according to KenPom. They're even better on the metrics like Bartovic and shot quality. And then as far as Kentucky's offense is concerned, number 11 in effective field goal percentage, but number 4 in the country in turnover percentage. They don't turn the ball over. Texas A&M doesn't do a really good job of turning the ball over either. This game looks like it's going to be a close game. Kentucky is going to try to get out and run. They're 14th in average possession length, according to KenPom. Texas A&M's 245th. So really big contrast in styles. But I think that even with it slowing down, I think that Kentucky can be able to shoot over these guys. They're much taller. Kentucky as a team 20th in height. Texas A&M 146. I mean, you got Texas A&M with guys like Wade Taylor and Hayden Hefner's 6'6". I mean, you could put Antonio Reeves, Trey Mitchell, Justin Edwards, Aaron Bradshaw. Any of those guys from Kentucky could guard that kid. I just don't see it. So I understand that Texas A&M is the best offensive rebounding team in the country, but they can't shoot free throws. They can't shoot three balls. They can defend, but I don't think it's really going to matter. So unless Kentucky is just ice cold and continues to miss shots, and Texas A&M gets every single rebound there and just easy putbacks. But keep in mind, effective field goal percentage, Texas A&M 325th in the country. So they're dog shit on offense anyway. So unless they can just figure something out, they're going to have to. So I'll take Kentucky.
Scoop.
Yeah, I agree with Toast. Calipari is, A&M hasn't even won a conference game. They just lost by double digits to LSU and Auburn. So what are we talking about here? I mean, they're 11 for the last 71 for three. Kentucky's in the top 20 in tempo. I think the Aggies are in the 300s. I mean, the Wildcats have like the second highest scoring attack in college basketball. They're blocking shots. I just don't see how A&M's going to compete with them at all. I actually like the team total under 78.5 for the Aggies. I don't know why that's so high. I think this should be. I honestly think. I mean, Toast thinks it's going to be a close game. I don't see it being that close. Obviously, I see Kentucky winning outright, but I see him winning by probably like 8 or 9. I just don't. I don't understand the spread. I don't like it. I don't like it.
He doesn't like it.
The models and the metrics are saying that Kentucky is due for some regression.
Right.
That's kind of what is going on.
Are we sweeping Kentucky, Andy? You're muted.
I'll see you
Yeah. Yeah, it's simple. I really don't get how you're making John Calipari the underdog. Wade Taylor, Texas A&M's best player. I guess he just hasn't realized SEC play started. He has not done anything. He didn't look great against Auburn. I really don't get this line. I think it's easy money. I think Kentucky is going to run through a lot of SEC teams. I don't think they'll go undefeated in SEC play, but I don't think Texas A&M's a team picking them off. I really didn't get this line. It's just like Florida. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, both the Florida Kentucky game and the Clemson North Carolina game last week was the same thing. It was moving the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly.
I won bets on both of those. It was glorious. So 67% to 30%. Most of you taking Kentucky here. Next,
I've seen blue.
He was glorious. All right.
If this game was a pick'em, it'd be different. Keep just really quickly on that one because it started as a pick'em and it's A&M took money and it moved and stuff. So,
all right,
anyway.
Here we are. Utah State at UNLV. After what we've seen from the UNLV football team in some of their home games, I don't know how you could trust the line from when UNLV plays a home game, man. There's just some sketchy shit going on. Like that UNLV Wyoming game, whatever. This isn't about football, so I won't even talk about it. But something's going on. I'll say that. Andrew, do you have a play here?
Yeah, I didn't want to pass this one, so I'll just go Utah State. I really didn't have much on this game. The only reason I'll go Utah State is because Jordan Love went to Utah State. Don't really know much about this game. So.
Jordan Love went there. Jordan Love
I
scored.
also take my pass back. I'm with Tennessee from the first game since Toast made fun of me. So
He's taking his pass back. Is that even allowed?
That's
I didn't know we weren't allowed, dude.
That's not allowed.
that just creates
I'm
more work
actually-
for the editing.
I'm with Utah State here too. They've been incredibly hot. They're probably except the Johnnies, obviously one of the hottest teams in the country. They haven't lost since November 11th, I think it was. I'm not fading them until they show me a reason to. They're shooting over 50% on the season. UNLV has a solid defense. Yeah, they're a decent defense, but Utah State's 38th in Ken Palm. I don't even know if they've been that high ever. Toast would probably know, but Caleb Boone had an awesome game against New Mexico for UNLV, but scoring 30. But that's a one-off. I mean, Jalen Hill's out for the season too for UNLV. They don't really have a prolific bench. I don't see how you can fade Utah State in this scenario.
Utah State for me too. Toast?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I understand UNLV. I'll just read you guys what I wrote on the VIP. I understand that UNLV just came off a big win against New Mexico, and they've played they've played New Mexico really, really well historically. I mentioned that because UNLV had 5 straight wins over. They had 5 straight wins over Utah State. That UNLV has played a much stronger schedule, but not by a ton. I will give them that. Utah State is on the nation's longest winning streak, 14 games in a row. They haven't played a lot of games on the road, just Air Force, Santa Clara, and Bradley. They lost the Bradley game, but they beat Santa Clara. And how good's that Santa Clara game looking right now after Santa Clara just beat Gonzaga, and now they play St. Mary's tonight? If they were to beat St. Mary's tonight, that Santa Clara game looks even way better. And then their only other game, they went into Air Force, and I understand that Air Force doesn't really come off as a big juggernaut, but that's not an easy place to play, especially when they played them up in the elevation. So I actually gave them a lot of credit for going in there and throttling Air Force by 28 points. So I don't really have a whole bunch of concern here with them going on the road to UNLV. I understand that Utah State doesn't shoot the three ball very well, but they are a top 10 offense in 2-point percentage. They don't shoot the free throws very well, but there's no reason for me to believe that I should get off their train now. So I'm going to continue, just like Scoop said, until they give me a reason not to. I'm going to continue to bet them. And Scoop, they were 28th last year, so they still have a little bit of work to get to where they were last year. But yeah, very solid. UNLV, by the way, a horrible offensive rebounding team. So even if Utah State is missing Utah State's or UNLV a bad rebounding team in general. So even if Utah State is missing buckets, they're probably not going to get a whole bunch of rebounds.
Polls all over Utah State there, 66% to 21%. Next, all right. Boston College at Clemson. And we're at 11:21, so we need to speed up the pace a little bit just so we get through them all. Boston College at Clemson, the line when I made those graphics was 9. So let's put it up at +9. Clemson -9. Pass. All right. Andy, ACC, you making a move here?
Yeah, I really like Clemson today. Boston College has played 4 road games this year. They are 3-1 in those games. But when you look at them, they've played the Citadel on the road. I don't even know why they went to the Citadel. They played Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech looks awful right now, just lost to Notre Dame. So I'm kind of off of them. Vanderbilt's obviously the worst team in the SEC. So they haven't played really anybody on the road. Clemson's coming off a couple of bad losses, right? 3 in a row now. I think they have to pick it up eventually. I think they kicked them in the mouth today early. So Clemson.
Scoop?
I didn't even know we were talking about this game, but I'm actually going with Boston College. Boston College beat the Johnnies. I mean,
wow,
that right there shows you everything.
I'm going to put Boston College up for me as well.
They're 1-3 against the spread in ACC games, but they've only lost by 10 points in one of those games. I mean, they're a competent team. They took NC State to overtime, I think I remember, and I just think that 9.5 is a little too much for Clemson to cover.
Toast?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Boston College isn't that bad. I actually got to see them play Vanderbilt when I was in Nashville. That Quentin Post kid, he's like 7 feet. He's like Zach Edey, like the Value Village version of Zach Edey. Like that kid can actually play. Clemson is like supposed to be really good. I mean, they were supposed to be one of those teams that was supposed to compete, and they started off early. They had a couple of nice wins against Boise State. That win against Boise State looks fantastic now, the way that Boise State's been playing. At least Boise State's got to be one of the hottest teams in the country after that amazing win last night. Shout out Broncos. But yeah, and they went on the road and beat TCU as well. So I understand that losing 3 in a row against Miami, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech doesn't bode much into confidence for that Clemson team. But I just don't feel like they're really as good as what we've seen. I understand that they've played a very hard schedule. That's the one thing that's holding me up with this Clemson team. They've played the 7th hardest schedule in the country. So that's one thing where you can see that maybe some of those early games started to get to them, but I don't think that Boston College is an easy matchup for them. And I think that Boston College has somebody that they can throw into the post and get easy buckets with. So Clemson does match up size. I'm not trying to make it seem like Boston College is going to be crazy heavy over them, but yeah, it should be a close game for me. There's no way I'd lay multiple possessions with Clemson right now.
All right, Andy on a Clemson island. Our poll pretty much leaned past there. Next up, we got South Carolina, Mizzou. I don't know why the pie chart isn't done for that one. Oh. All right, SEC. Let's bring Andy up. He likes SEC basketball. South Carolina, Missouri. What's the move?
Oh, sorry. I was reading AJ's comment.
I know. Prop
what an
Beavers in the
asshole.
comments.
My bad. Yeah, this line was insane to me. I get South Carolina just got beat by Alabama, and it was an ugly second half. But are we just gonna forget all the other games they've played? They've played a decent schedule, not great schedule. They beat teams like Grand Canyon. They've played some decent teams, not great, but decent. And Missouri's coming off, Saturday against Georgia, they gave up 12 3-pointers at home, and it was ugly. Georgia's not the greatest 3-point shooting team. Then they played Kentucky, looked even worse, played tight, but lost the game and wound up giving up the cover. So I don't get this line at all. I get Missouri should be the better team, but South Carolina showed us they are. So at home, on the road, I still like them. So, yeah, give me South Carolina.
Agreed. South Carolina.
I'm going to fade both of you.
Facts.
South Carolina was killed by Alabama a few days ago. Second half was gross. It was like watching the Pistons play basketball.
Whoa.
So sorry to Shipley.
That was unnecessary.
The Gamecocks just won't put enough points to compete. I'm not going to get fooled by their record. 6 of their wins came from teams ranked 256 or lower in Ken Pom.
Ew.
I like Missouri's home here. But let's be real. This isn't a game worth watching. It's going to be a slog. Sorry for SEC fans. I'm excited to take Missouri in this one since they're 4-10 against the spread. You can actually go to the game for 50 cents. I saw on StubHub. That's probably tells you all you need to know about this game.
Sick.
Yeah, so no home court advantage. It makes me like the Gamecocks even more. Toast?
Yeah, I liked Missouri at 1. I don't know if I liked Missouri at 2.5 and 3, but you could throw Missouri up there for me. South Carolina, definitely a solid start, but they've had a pretty lucky schedule as well. A lot of their luck metrics aren't great. I understand that Missouri hasn't looked good. They've lost 5 or 6 before those games. Not only on the road, but against really good competition, Kansas, Kentucky, Seton Hall, Illinois. So I just think that that's really good. Another thing that should be bothered is that South Carolina hasn't seen much of a press this year. Mizzou's going to press the shit out of them. So, I think this is a Mizzou game to be had, but I don't really love it. But yeah, I would be on Mizzou. I don't really love the fact that it's at 2.5 now. I'm much more than like 1.
Just I think the optics of it don't look great. Laying 2.5 with an 8-17, 4-11 gets the spread against South Carolina, who's 13-2, 11-4 gets the spread.
Yeah, they're 13-2, but they have the 222nd hardest schedule in the country. I mean, their best win is
group of winners
Grand
against a
Canyon
group of losers is what it looks like to me.
Their best win is
They
Mississippi
played
State.
like a team from Mexico. Like no one cares.
I care. I'm on the Gamecocks. Next, we'll go back to the SEC. Hogs. What are your thoughts on the Hogs? Are you a fan of Hogs?
I have no
Are
comment.
you talking to me or Andy?
Andy.
I have no comment on that. I'm not gonna say that. No, I think Florida wins this game ugly. I think they're just simply a better, tougher, faster team. I didn't like what I saw from Arkansas the other day on the road. That team, when they miss shots, it's bricks and it's ugly, and they miss them in bunches. They can get hot at times, but I'm not gonna bet on a team that can at times get hot. They got to stay consistent. Florida looked good at home against Kentucky, almost won the game. Arkansas on the road against Georgia just didn't look good. Did rebound well, but I think that's more Georgia's lack of rebounding than Arkansas's success with rebounding. So, yeah, give me Florida.
See, your pick doesn't make sense here, Andy. And I'm going based on what you
Don't
said.
do it, Arkansas.
I'm going based on what Andy said in this office, sitting 7 feet to my right. And it was a week ago, and he said, we took Arkansas to cover it against Auburn. And he said something about, like, Arkansas basketball looks all right this year.
I didn't take Arkansas. I took Auburn.
Who was gassing me up on Arkansas basketball?
The other day, Georgia was playing Arkansas. And I was
But I'm talking about before that. Someone was like,
What
Arkansas. I don't freaking know. Arkansas. That's what I'm on.
okay.
Toast is going to be on Florida, I could tell.
Look, I absolutely hate Todd Golden and I hate Florida, but this is and should be an absolute smash spot for them. If they don't beat Arkansas by 7.5, he should be fired. Arkansas has the worst body language in the country of any team that's not named Michigan.
It was just a bad week. It was just a bad week.
No, it's been a bad year. There's been a lot of things going on in that locker room right now. There is no chance in hell I want anything to do with an Eric Musselman coach team right now. Vibes are at an all-time low, for sure.
I think he's got his foot out the door.
Yeah, exactly. Florida minus 7.5 for me, no question.
Scoop.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with Toast here. Florida's great at home. They're 6-1. They only lost by 2 to Kentucky as their only home loss. I'm not sure if Riley Kugel's addressing this game.
We lost the camera.
No.
No, but Scoop's in the top corner. That's weird. Where did everyone go on that? Oh, here we go. All right, sorry about that. All right, go ahead, Scoop.
All right, so yeah, I was with Toast. Like I said, they only lost by 2 to Kentucky as their only home loss. I was saying Riley Kugel might miss time in this game. He does everything well, but I can't just side with Arkansas. They've been so bad. Florida's I think they're the 4th fastest playing team in Division I basketball. I mean, they have turnover issues, but there's no way I can side with Arkansas looking at them play this sport, basically.
Really quickly, to your Riley Kugel point, reports out of Gainesville, him and Todd Golden back on the same page after the benching, so we should be all good now.
Someone asked, can you put the start time for each college basketball game in the future? Yeah, we could do that. I'll add it to the After Effects thing, so it'll come up. We could definitely do that, for sure. Scoop is the man. Scoop, who did you pay to come in the comments and say that?
I don't know, but I appreciate him a lot.
Community agrees with me. 45% taking the 7.5 with Arkansas. I love it. Hogs up.
With it being so public, yeah, I couldn't bet him right now.
Oklahoma State, Illinois. That's weird how it went all the way up there, but whatever. It's right here. So we're talking Big 12, Oklahoma State, Iowa State. All right, Scoop, you have the mic, you have the floor. Scoop's a huge Big 12 guy. I don't know if he is. Well, in that case, do you have a pick in this one?
I actually get ready for this. I'm using my pass on this game.
Oh, he's using his pass.
That's right, Toast. Passing. It's all you.
Right. He passes the mic to Toast.
I don't like this game at all.
Yeah, I don't really love it either. I'm not going to pass. I'll take the 12 with Oklahoma State. I understand they haven't looked great their first 2 games, but playing Baylor, even though they were playing at home, I feel like they should have beat Baylor. I had Oklahoma State plus 4.5. The game went to overtime, ended up losing by 5. Shocker. That's just my year. And then they came back, and I think that game kind of lingered a little bit because then they went and played Texas Tech, and they just got absolutely throttled on the road. They stay on the road against Iowa State. Iowa State, very good basketball team. There's no question about that. One of the best defensive teams in the country. They showed that against Houston, but they also kind of faltered a little bit against Houston. They could have definitely lost that game. They didn't. Iowa State's played one of the worst schedules in the country, 3-10 in the country, so it's not like you can really hold your hat on that. They've played a really good schedule, so they do have metrics, but a team that can't shoot free throws 70%, that's good for 322 in the country. I'll take my chances with Oklahoma State, who's getting a whole bunch of points. So they're not a good free throw shooting team either. Neither one of these teams are great, but I just think that it's too many points. It's a letdown spot for conference play as well, so I'll take a whole bunch of points with Oklahoma State.
I'm on the other side. I don't think you could really put a price tag on the value for a winning coach and a winning culture and what Matt Campbell has done for this school. It's just completely turned around. And I believe in Iowa State. I support all things Matt Campbell, so I'm going to lay the 12 here. Andrew?
I love the reasoning.
I don't hate it considering those pie charts.
The pie charts are in Oklahoma State.
That's what he's saying.
Oh.
I would side Oklahoma State here. This is more just spot for me. I think Iowa State coming off a big win. Oklahoma State's kind of a good team. They're solid enough. I don't think Oklahoma State will win the game, and I think it's a flat spot for Iowa State.
So you took
but
Oklahoma
I think
State.
Oklahoma State covers the 12.5 because that's a high number for a team. I think they just beat number 2 in the country. Now they're playing a decent team. That's usually a flat spot.
And then also Iowa State has BYU on deck, which is one of their biggest games of the year. I forgot to say that.
Yeah, but when you have a great coach like Matt Campbell, you can handle
who's
two.
Who's the coach for Iowa State, Sauce?
Matt Campbell.
Okay.
Actually, a fun name to say, TJ Otzelberger.
Yeah, but Matt Campbell basically runs the athletic department for them.
He does.
Right.
I get it.
You had him at Alabama 2 days ago.
It was more. I mean, there was
He
more.
would have been a better hire. So
than DeBoer. DeBoer's got like such an insane
I told
resume.
Bama boy, you can't walk like that. It doesn't come off easy, so they're gonna be stinky for a little bit.
Actually, let's bring up Toast first because we're heading out west of the Pac-12, Arizona in Pullman. Toast. This is for those of you who don't know, Toast family are Washington State fans. So this game's close to his heart. His heart's in Pullman.
They're Washington State football fans, though.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
But yeah, they are big Gonzaga basketball, Washington State football family. That's for sure. I'm going to, in this one, I didn't bet this good personally, but I think Arizona blows the doors off of them. Washington State is actually under Kyle Smith. I think he's actually one of the more underrated coaches. They've played pretty well to start the year. I mean, they're top 70 in Ken Palm. But when they've played the teams, when they've had to step up in competition like Mississippi State, Santa Clara, Utah, Colorado, Oregon, they've lost. I mean, they got a win against Boise State. That was a semi-home game that I'm still scratching my head about how Boise State ended up losing that game. And then Oregon State and USC. USC's terrible, guys. They just lost Collier too, and they lost him in that game. I would love to get here with Washington State, but this Arizona team is one of the best in the country. 5th in average offensive efficiency, 4th in defensive efficiency. They shoot free throws well. They do everything well. Oh, by the way, they've played the 2nd hardest schedule in the country as well. They already have a away loss to Stanford to start conference play. So that's the last time they were on the road. I think they get right here. They play Washington State and on the road, and that's their only game on the road. And then they come back for 2 against USC and UCLA. So I think this is a great spot for them. That's only one trip. So yeah, I'm all over Arizona.
Scoop.
Yeah, I'm with Toast. Well, I mean, Arizona averages 92 points a game. They're number 1 in scoring offense. They're, like Toast said, they're 3rd in rebounds, 4th in assists. I know Washington State just took down USC at home, but before that, they lost 3 of their last 4. I don't think this should be particularly close. I don't expect Washington. I mean, Arizona's not the best defensive team, but you're really expecting Washington State to shoot balls from the perimeter the way they did Stanford? I mean, Arizona killed Colorado by like 50 and then beat Utah by 19, and they're both, I think, better than Washington State. So I think Arizona's going to win by double digits for sure.
I'm putting Arizona for me too. I like what you guys said.
Yeah, I'm literally betting Arizona as we speak right now. It's 8.5 on FanDuel. Shot Quality Model has it winning by 15. So I'm literally betting it'll be on VIP as well.
Cool. Is it an Arizona sweep, Andy? You're muted.
Yo, I gotta figure that out, man. Oh. This is a pace difference for me. Arizona runs the 2nd fastest pace in the country. Washington State's 262. That's a tough. I mean, Washington.
So are you saying that favors Arizona?
Yeah, okay. I think it does. I mean, when you speed up the game, when you speed up slow teams like that, that causes very big issues. They turn the ball over, which usually is uncharacteristic. So, yeah, I like Arizona to blow them out.
It's an Arizona sweep, and community likes 71% to 17. So. This is an Arizona Wildcats program today. We are all in on the Wildcats. I'll be betting this one too. A lot of these I don't bet because you guys know I got NBA, NFL. So college basketball I usually just tail some of Toast's top bets. People in the Discord share bets and I'll tail those. But I will be betting this one. Hey, we're an Arizona program.
Playing in Pullman's rough, but they're not going to compete with Arizona.
Yeah, but Cam Ward left.
That's why I think that Washington State's taking money and stuff. That's why why I like it even more.
To the NFL.
Okay, Moore declared for the draft, right?
For some reason.
I wonder where he's gonna go.
Somebody's practice squad will be.
It's just like a weird draft for him to choose.
It was
so quarterback heavy.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So Houston TCU. Let's go back to the Big 12. Andrew, anything for this one?
Yeah, I like Houston in this one bounce back spot. Line is a little lower now. I think it's what 3.5. It was 5.5 when it opened. I like Houston bouncing back. TCU, good team, good home team too. Coming off a bad, not a bad loss, but coming off a loss for Houston is surprising. So they bounce back today.
You like Houston to bounce back, okay? Scoop, do you agree with him?
Yeah, I think they bounce back too. You know, I know they lost to Iowa State. Iowa State by, I think they were a point favorite. So it's not like they were like killed or anything like that. I definitely like them to bounce back against TCU. I think TCU is just getting way too much love right now. They played well this season, but it's not a good time to run into Houston after, especially coming off a loss. Plus, TCU had struggles against good teams this season. I mean, they beat Oklahoma, but that was their first win over a ranked top 100 in Ken Palm. Houston's gonna just do well defensively. I just don't think TCU is gonna hang with them at all.
Oh, Bama Boy's in the comments. He said Arizona all day. So Bama Boy on Arizona as well. Toast.
Yeah, but he also thinks Matt Campbell's not a good coach, so I don't.
So his judgment's in question. Toast, do you like Houston to quote unquote bounce back? Between Andy and Scoop, they used the term bounce back like 11 or 12 times. So do you like Houston to bounce back?
I think that they win. I paired Houston with Florida, and that's that plus money. So I pick Houston as well. Houston is just Houston and TCE are very, very similar. Houston just does everything that TCU does better. They don't neither. TCU likes to get out and run. That's the only thing that's really different. But both of them want to play through their defense. It's really hard for me. I think that Houston has read the press clippings about how welcome to the Big 12 and yada, yada, yada. The Houston free throw shooting has to get better. They're only 68% as a team that's 304th in the country. That's very bad. But I think that they should be able to keep it in with their defense. Like I said, if you're betting TCU, you're betting on that they're going to get up and down, and they have a pretty decent size advantage as well. TCU is a much bigger team than Houston, but Houston has a lot more athletic guys, and I think they're much better defensively. And they don't turn the ball over. So off of a loss like that, I do think they bounce back.
So Toast thinks they bounce back as well.
I just think this line should be like 6 or 7, I think.
Well, I am taking TCU. I'm playing the line movement. I don't think Houston bounces back. I don't think Houston bounces back here. But this line was at 5.5 last night at 11 p.m., down to 4.5, 4, 3.5. Very clear that some professional money's coming in on TCU. I'm playing the line movement. I don't see a bounce back here in the future for Houston. So I'm on TCU. Wow, our poll agrees with you guys heavy. 70% of our viewers said they would lay the 3.5 with Houston. Then second place was Pass, and then third place was TCU.
Fair.
All right, let's keep it moving. Let's bring Toast up first because we're talking Western Conference.
West Coast Conference.
I thought it's West Coast Conference.
Yeah, it's not the WAC. It's the WCC.
Oh. So
there's 800 conferences. So.
All right, Toast. St. Mary's is on the road, laying a pretty big number here of 5.5. Is that number too big?
That number is great. If you can get 5.5, nuke that shit. It's at 6.5 now. It's going to continue to climb. St. Mary's is about to throttle these boys. Give me St. Mary's minus 6.5. I don't really care what the number is. I understand that Santa Clara is coming off a nice big win against Gonzaga. But I just think that they're going to be in a little bit of trouble here with this St. Mary's team that I think is a little bit underrated after having a kind of a shitty December. They've really picked it back up. I understand. I guess we can just look into like what's going to make them different. Look, St. Mary's is going to slow this game down to an absolute crawl. 357 in the country in average possession length. Santa Clara is like top 50s as far as average possession length. So a huge discrepancy there. The other thing with Santa Clara, they have a huge turnover issue. 267 in the country in turnover percentage. They turn it over in almost 20% of their possessions. That's not good when you're facing a St. Mary's team that can really force turnovers. The only thing that bothers me with St. Mary's in this game is free throws, because they are terrible. They're 305th in the country shooting free throws. But Santa Clara is able to win games against teams because of their size and experience. They don't have that advantage with St. Mary's coming to town. St. Mary's matches up very well with them, height and size wise. So I just think that the St. Mary's defense is going to be a little bit too much. I understand that Santa Clara has looked good, but I think this is going to be a little bit more bigger step up in class for them. And also for St. Mary's, this is a game where they can really take control of the WCC with a big win here. So yeah, I'm all over St. Mary's.
Couldn't agree. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I'm on St. Mary's too. Toes, what would the line be for this game if it was 2 weeks ago? Double digits, right?
Probably, yeah. 2 weeks ago, so Santa
before
Clara
the Gonzaga shit. Before the Gonzaga shit.
Santa Clara. 2 weeks ago, Santa Clara had just lost 2 out of 3 to San Jose State and Yale.
Exactly.
So keep that in mind.
Recency. The only reason we're getting even this number is recency bias, and people are still betting Santa Clara. St. Mary's is a far better team. I'm with the Gales, so I don't think Santa Clara bounces back here.
Is Santa Clara good? I still don't have much faith in them. I mean, St. Mary's is a solid team offensively, but on the defensive side of the ball, St. Mary's is probably the number one team, I think, in the country almost. I'm not sure you can constitute this as a letdown game for Santa Clara, because I think St. Mary's is probably the second best team in that conference.
Right.
Maybe San Francisco is, but
no.
Plus, they played 2 days ago, Santa Clara. They're still riding the high. Saxon's a great rim protector. I just don't think Santa Clara has enough offense to put away St. Mary's. I like the under here, too. I just think they overachieved against the Zags. Toe said they turn the ball over a lot. I think St. Mary's should be favored by, like you guys said, probably like 10.
Yeah, 100%.
And if we're being 100% honest, if Gonzaga doesn't have Gonzaga across their chest, they're probably not even a tournament team this year. So how good was that Santa Clara win against Gonzaga? If we're just being honest,
it just caught the eye of everyone because everyone heard about it.
It's true.
All right, let's bring up Andrew.
It really was hard for me to say.
Andy loves the WCC. So
Andrew, do you like Santa Clara to bounce back?
I mean, it wouldn't be a bounce, but no. Toe said exactly what I was about to say. If Gonzaga didn't have their brand, their name, they would not even be on the bubble right now. They're not.
Okay, I can say that.
No, you're right though. They have not beaten anybody of note.
No, you're right. No, they've been terrible.
They'll have their opportunity against Kentucky, but like for Santa Clara, like it was, I guess, a good win for them. It had been a long time since they beat them, but now you're staying home 2 days later. You're playing that game, momentum in your favor. I think it's gonna be rough. They're gonna let themselves down like that. And St. Mary's had a bad stretch, but they're still a pretty good team. They were favored to win that conference at the beginning of the year, so they're a good team.
Also, good luck finding a St. Mary's bet on gambling Twitter or anywhere else in the world.
Everyone's on Santa Clara?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I'm hitting Arizona, St. Mary's. Like, let me write those down and make sure I get on
Everybody's on Santa Clara, and it's moved 2.5 points.
Towards St. Mary's.
Correct.
St. Mary's is the move, no question. All right. Alabama, Mississippi State. The question is, how is Bama going to respond with the news? Saban's gone. This program's a lot of questions circling this program.
Yeah, I think that'll have a big impact on the basketball team.
If you don't think Nick Saban has an impact on all things Alabama Crimson Tide, bro.
Maybe he kind of stayed away from the basketball team after what happened last year.
No wonder they suck.
I think Alabama crushes them in this one.
Aren't they coming off a blowout win though?
Yep.
So you don't think Mississippi State bounces back?
I think Alabama's the best team in the SEC besides Kentucky, obviously, and I think Mississippi State just looks slow. Their pace is, that's the way they play. Their pace is tough. Alabama's going to speed them up, outscore them. Alabama's one of the top scoring teams in the nation. I think they're going to get pretty much everything they want. Mississippi State looked rough against South Carolina last week. Shooting, coming off a big win as well against Tennessee. Letdown spot.
See, what we're seeing right here is a young, inexperienced Andy suffering from recency bias because just last week He was on this show telling us how good Mississippi State and their defense was just last week. He's let a couple games get to his head. Sports betting is a long-term thing. Don't let recency bias sway you. Mississippi State. Bulldogs. Toast.
Could not agree more. Could not agree more. Give me Mississippi State on the money line. I guess for the show's sake, -1.5. Whatever. Yeah, Alabama's very, very good offensively. There's no question about that. This is just a game where I'm going to take the home team and the defense over the best offense in the country. As far as efficiency goes, that's Alabama. Alabama, number one, like I said, in offensive efficiency. Mississippi State on the other side, I mean, as far as defensive efficiency, number 9. The number 10 as far as limiting field goal effective field goal percentage as far as defense. And then the three-pointers. Alabama, we know, what does Alabama basketball do? They shoot 3 balls and they shoot layups. Well, unfortunately for Alabama, Mississippi State's holding opponents to 27% from the perimeter. That's good for 5th in the country. Nobody gets shots up against Mississippi State. Like Andy said, they're going to slow it way down. Alabama, 3 in average possession length. Mississippi State, number 259. I will give you that Alabama's bigger than them and whatnot, but I just think that Mississippi State's going to completely make this game into a crawl. And if that's going to be the case, I'll take my chances. Alabama's pretty weak defending as well. So I think that Mississippi State can eat inside. Mississippi State can't shoot the 3-pointers, and that's what Alabama does. They can guard 3-pointers. They're top 60 in the country. But when it comes to inside the arc, they drop down to like that 150 range. So Mississippi State's one of the better 2-point offenses in the country, that's for sure. So they do turn the ball over a lot, but at the same time, Alabama is 224 in the country as far as enforcing turnovers. So it's not like I really worry about that a whole bunch. So I'm gonna take my chances with the Bulldogs at home.
Scoop, do you agree with us?
I agree with Andy. Alabama's going to ride the disappointment of not getting Matt Campbell and win this game. They're going to do this for Saban, man. It was actually a big swing to Alabama being underdogs here. I think the line started with Bama being favorites, but Bama won 4 in a row against Mississippi State. They won 7 of their last 8. Toast said they're first in offensive efficiency. Mississippi State's, I think, 8 or 9 in defensive efficiency. It's gonna be a good game. I just don't think Mississippi State's gonna stop Mark Sears. The only thing I'm a bit nervous about is Bama beating up on the easier teams, and they're not great against NCAA tournament ready teams. I'm basically just betting on Bama keeping that offense rolling. I hate betting on Bama because of the Discord, to be honest, but I won't make an actual bet on this, but I'm leaning Alabama.
Mississippi State's the move here. Shipley said all Alabama sports suck ass. All right, so our poll is heavy on Alabama here, even though I typed it wrong. Mississippi State is favored by 2. I typed Alabama -2 in the poll. All right, so should we do – it's 11:52. Should we do a quick community parlay? We've hit 3 of the last 4. I feel like we have to, right?
Yeah.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go straight to ESPN page and I'm gonna just do games that are on national TV. So first poll that we talked about. Didn't Georgia win the poll? Yeah. Georgia money line. Wisconsin money line. Seton Hall Butler. Who won that poll? Pretty sure Scoop was on a Butler Island. I think Seton Hall won it. Next, St. John's money line. St. John's won our poll.
Johnny's.
All right. First leg of the community parlay.
Couple valuable ones there. Georgia will have some value. Seton Hall, I would assume, would.
Well, but the thing is, a lot of our people in New Jersey, so I kind of hope Seton Hall does.
I know.
Win.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that you like Georgia, Andy.
I think even Kyle, the first day I met him, was like, "Dude, why do you like Georgia basketball?"
Like, who likes that?
You're one of the 11 fans in the country.
Like, dude, you have more followers on Twitter than Georgia basketball does.
I really hope Georgia plays well today.
Yeah. There is one more game that it wasn't a big game at all, and a team that's been cashing out like crazy is Charleston, but I can't bet them today. I was pretty upset about that. They're playing Monmouth. So I can't bet them. They've cashed 3 of their last 4 bettable games. You have them, don't you?
Just don't give the secret of Charleston out to everybody.
Dude.
Okay.
First line is Wisconsin money line, by the way.
Okay, down for that.
Oklahoma, Kansas. Who won that poll? I think Kansas did. Kentucky definitely won that poll.
Kentucky crushed that one, I think.
Yeah, so that's another dog that might make it. San Diego State, New Mexico. I can't remember.
Dude.
Oh, New Mexico won. I actually know New Mexico won. And then let's scroll down to the 3:30 p.m. games. Boston College, Clemson. Boston College won as the dog there.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So a couple dogs in this one. Although I could almost guarantee Kentucky or Kansas will win this one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really gonna hit Boston College up on this one.
Yeah, I don't. No votes for Boston College. Look,
Kentucky in there.
it's back and forth between Kansas and Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's looking like Kentucky's taking a lead and is running away with it. All right, 5, 4, 3,
Because
2.
Oklahoma's winning.
Kentucky gets on the community parlay, so we're gonna have some value. Well, when I say value, I mean we're gonna have some plus money. I don't know if it necessarily means value, but South Carolina, Missouri, Mizzou won that. Just scroll through here.
Kentucky is
Houston, TCU.
I believe Houston won.
Oh, it was Houston, yeah. Arizona, Washington State was Arizona, definitely. LSU, Auburn, we didn't do that one.
Whoa.
Texas, West Virginia, we didn't do.
LSU's like 15-point underdogs.
If you guys want this one's not on the show, but Colorado money line is a parlay piece or two for anybody that's out there. It's like 500, but there's no way they'll lose to USC.
We didn't do Baylor, Cincinnati, Colorado, USC. We didn't do.
Yeah, Washington State just beat them.
Where are all the games we did? I'm like missing them.
Alabama, Mississippi State, we did.
All
Santa Clara, St. Mary's.
Well, that's a good one. St. Mary's would be a good one.
Oh, right. So, okay. So I'm putting Alabama in. And then the last one I'll do.
Did you do? Oh yeah.
Iowa State, Oklahoma State. I forgot to.
I really like Baylor tonight too. By the way, -6.5.
Same.
I think USC covers that line though, Toast. I think
Without Collier.
Yeah, dude. That value is. I mean, that line opened at 7 and now it's what 11.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I got Colorado at 7 last night.
All right.
I also played
Alabama
under
makes it,
152.
even though they're going to lose. Alabama money line, and then I'm just going to do the 3 second place finishers, which and St. Mary's I'll put in there. So the second place finishers are Georgia.
Bama's losing. Bama at +100 is like
Kansas.
the trap of all traps.
Arizona money line. St.
Begging people.
Mary's money line. What's the last leg of the community parlay? Remember, we've hit 2 of the last 3 days. We're going for 3 out of 4 here. And
I think you hit 3 or 4.
No, I'm sorry. We've hit 3 of the last 4 days. We're going for 4 out of 5, which would be insane. We never even hit that during baseball season. We hit 3 out of 4 once during baseball, though.
In baseball this year, I want to do hitter ones too. I got a whole bunch of ideas.
Yeah. That show is sick, that baseball show.
It all started with a +190, I think we started with the other day.
Yeah, that's what we needed. We just needed something to kickstart us.
I think it was
I'm
like
really upset
Taylor.
that Alabama made this one because I really like Mississippi too.
Me too.
It's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun.
Well, we
day.
have Kentucky and Alabama that are both underdogs, so this one should be a good payout here. All right, give it.
Yeah,
the
right
votes.
now we're sitting at 495, 510 on EK.
Let's give another few seconds. This one's back and forth here. 5, 4, 3, 2. It looks like it might be Kansas. It's Kansas.
That's going to come out to be a 4-pick parlay. It is going to be 715 on
What?
DK.
That's juicy.
Yeah, that's a juicy parlay right there. So the community is now going for 4 out of 5.
I mean, it's a bunch of close games here too, so it's gonna be
Wisconsin money line.
Wisconsin. They're gonna kill them.
Kentucky money line, Alabama money line, Kansas money line plus 715. Everyone, thanks for watching. for college basketball stuff. We'll be back on Tuesday with a combination of, maybe the same four. We'll see.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
The combination, the NBA show and the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Tuesday will probably be only college basketball because there's not many NBA games. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, as far as the next live show, I was thinking about doing something tomorrow morning where we're doing touchdown scores for the Sunday NFL games, where we do touchdown score polls. I'll let you know. It'll be spur of the moment. Me and Prop Beaver will jump on, or whoever wants to. And but yeah, as far as that, we'll be back with the NBA show on Monday. I'll be uploading NFL videos tonight. Everyone, have a great weekend. Remember to bet responsibly, and I will talk to you in the Discord, which is on KyleKirms.com, by the way. Later.
Have a good night, guys.